Hello again, I'm Vanessa, and today my topic is also mono and multispecies biofilms from a crustose coralline alga, abbreviated as CCA, induced settlement in the scleractinian coral Leptastrea purpurea. And I still need to introduce our characters, so the first, our research subject, the scleractinian coral, which is a stony coral. Leptastrea purpurea, he used brooding as his reproduction strategy. And crustose coralline alga, abbreviated as CCA, he's a calcified red algae that formed the hard crust, just like the pink layer in the background picture. And the mono and multispecies biofilms, he's a layer of bacteria and other microorganisms and embedded in a matrix. So it is also a layer covered on the crustose coralline alga. And again, I don't want to spend time to explain the coral reef bleaching. I just show you the picture. And the bleaching causes with the biodiversity reduction and disrupting the marine ecological balance. So coral have two ways to reproduce. One way is spawning, and today our subject is use brooding. So the brooding's main difference from spawning is they do their fertilization internally, just meaning inside the female's body. And after their development, they release the larvae, and he will experience settlement, which includes attachment and metamorphosis to become a mature coral. And as for the settlement, this is an important part of our research. Settlement means they were attached to the surface and metamorphosis and then settled. And in the previous research, we know the crustose coralline algae can produce some special chemical cue that can induce their settlement. And in other research, we know microbial biofilms, some bacteria can also produce chemical cues, including tetrabromopyrrole, to induce the settlement too. So our research purpose in this study, we aim to isolate bacteria from CCA and test their ability to induce settlement in coral larvae. So to be plain, we need to know which bacteria can induce the settlement. In material and methods, we collect our CCN and Leptastrea purpurea in the grain island. I know you can't see anything in this picture. So grain island, look like this. And we collect their larvae in our laboratory. And as for the bacteria, we need to incubate it, and so we need to isolate it into each strain. Strain is a concept that just only for the microorganisms, and he is under species and divided by the function. So we after isolated, and we need to sequencing them, just know their identity. And monospecific biofilms, we can grow them on the cover slip, and we need to expose them to the coral larvae. And before entering the results, we need to know the settlement steps completely. So first, they were swimming in the water column, and then they were attached to the surface, and then they will do the metamorphosis to change their body shape and transform. And this is the complete settlement we want to measure. And for the first result, they used the crustose coralline algae extraction to test their larvae's vitality, to test they are living, they are good. And this showed a good result, and ending in 82.6% of settlement rate, while the negative have only 0.6. And the result for our bacteria identification, we know there's 56 strains in our crustose coralline algae, and it belongs to 6 classes and 80 families. And this time I use family to show the result. There is both 9 strains belongs to these two, and 7 strains belongs to this one. And both these two have 5 strings. Sorry, and what we need to memorize is only the number 2. So just remember his name: Shu Do Alter Ro blah blah blah. And for our most important result, settlement rate, I still use the rainbow ranking. I think this is the most easy way to understand their ranking. And we can observe that these 3, this one, and this one, they are all belongs to the same genus, and this genus belongs to the number 2 we just mentioned. And this, I need to mention that this one, although I say it is Shudo Alter Morales Robar, but it is actually just 99 similarity to it, so it's not totally just this species. And except for these 6 strings, the other strings all show no any settlement rate, so we can ignore them. And there are some false responses in the observation. There's almost 0.8% they just attached to the ground, to the surface, but they didn't metamorphosis. And there's another 3.0% just skip the attachment, they just metamorphosis in the water column. And some strain cause larval mortality, like this one we didn't mention before. His name is 1784. He caused 100% mortality to the larvae in 48 hours. And these two we just mentioned before, he showed the settlement rate good at first, but after 48 hours he started to killing the larvae. I don't know what he's doing. And to help you memorize these 2 colors, green and purple, I think it's similar to the prototype of Ava. And to test the 1722, this green one, we also test multispecies biofilms. Just put the 4 string, so before they have a good result on settlement rate on the same cover slip. And this increased the settlement rate to 93.2%. This is good. But when we mix the 1722 on the cover slip, they just kill all the larvae. And this in that to the discussion, the inductive effects were strain specific rather than linked to higher taxonomic levels. This means, although we just mentioned but this doesn't mean all the members from this family, the family we mentioned before, this one, the other member of that family just show and there's no any settlement rate of them. So the inductive effects were strain specific because strain is divided from their function instead of their classification. And this time we know some good news that 1792 he has the highest settlement behavior, and we know he can produce diverse secondary metabolites. So this might be the reason he can show this result. In 1678, we know he can have a good result before, but we haven't known what chemical compound he can produce. And these two, they belongs to the same family and genus. They can all produce tetrabromopyrrole, which is the chemical we mentioned before. He can induce the coral settlement. But there are some special cases, like what we mentioned. Some strains cause larvae days and instead of settlement. And this genus include, I put a question mark after the 1722 because we are not sure if he is that species. But they can also produce toxic compounds, not just only this compound, but some compounds that will kill the larvae. And some strains induce metamorphosis without attachment, and of course some strains induce attachment without metamorphosis. And this time, this is our most important result. So the multispecies biofilms shows the best result without some specific bacteria and bigger than the crustose-coralline algae, and then is the monospecific biofilms. So we back to our purpose. In this study, we try to know which bacteria can induce the settlement best. So now we know these four good guys. But we only know these few bacteria showing strong inductive capacity. And we need to know more about their settlement cues that may involve in the induction. Thank you for listening.